Hey, it's Doc David with Head Shrink Inc. And today we're going to talk about family secrets and how you can deal with them. Listen in.
You are listening to Head Shrink Inc., your answers to life, relationships, and daily living.
Hey, it's Doc David again with Head Shrink Inc. And it is the first day of spring. Can you believe it? It is springy outside. I live in the Pacific Northwest and it's been raining nonstop. So if you want to move here, remember that it rains a lot. I think I was listening, a friend of mine was saying it's rained more in the last 4 months, I think, than it, or let's see, we're in March. So it's rained the last 3 months more than it did all of last year. I was like, oh my goodness. I can believe that. It just does. It seems like it's been raining nonstop. So yesterday there was a brief, some rays of sun, and I went out, planted some fruit trees, and I have 2 beehives. One of my hives died, and the other one, they were out flying around. So spring is here, and it's a nice time of year. It's seasonably warm. So that's great. So we are not here to talk about spring, though. We're here to talk about family secrets. So what I do, I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I go into houses and meet with families and couples and teenagers and parents that are having challenges with teenagers. I've been doing that for about the last 18 years. I'm licensed in the state that I live in, and I have a PhD in psychology. And so a lot of my work-related experiences have been about family secrets or family trauma that has never been dealt with. But one of the things I want to address today is family secrets and how to deal with those secrets in order to bring them out into the open. So a lot of times family secrets, when we talk about family secrets, or when I hear it, it's usually something related to sexual abuse or some type of physical abuse. But in reality, family secrets could be something as simple as, sibling A and sibling B don't like each other, but we don't tell anybody and we pretend, or we don't tell grandpa and grandma because grandpa and grandma would be upset. And so family secrets can run the gamut. And so one of the things that I try to do when I find out family secrets is to let families know that I don't keep secrets. That's something that I think is very important when I go in and interact with families, is that sometimes I have to talk to a husband or wife separately, or sometimes I have to talk to a teenager and mom and dad separately. And I clearly let them know that I am not going to be a secret holder, because I think that the more that you can get your secrets out, the less emotional baggage you have. And I truly believe that. I think that when secrets are kept, it's like garbage that just kind of never gets taken out. And so it just sits and it just stinks, and it's emotional garbage. And so I've come up with a list of 5 things that I think you should do if you're brave enough in your family to confront these secrets. And a lot of times people just don't know how to do it. And so they just don't, and they just kind of stay emotionally sick or drained because there's these secrets that they haven't dealt with. And so this is not only for people that have secrets, but maybe a person that has a secret, and so maybe you can come alongside them and help them kind of talk about the secret that is in their family. So the first thing that I definitely suggest, and it seems like a no-brainer, but it's something that I think a lot of people don't think about, is to get help. And that help could be in the form of a competent therapist, licensed therapist that has training and experience in helping people talk about difficult subjects. Or it could be a family member that you trust, or it could be a friend that you trust that has connections with a lot of different family members. So, I think it's important to get help when you keep finding yourself at a dead end, or you're unable to move forward in a positive manner in your life. And when that is, because I think that you just keep if you keep finding yourself getting stuck or getting triggered or upset about certain issues, that's when it would be important to go and seek help and figure out, why is this happening? And there could be something that you didn't realize is a bigger issue going on in your life. So getting help to find out, or to getting help to either find out that there may be a secret, or to actually talk about a family secret is definitely a crucial first step. So a second step is when or if an issue gets brought up, and we're talking secret more or less, but I mean, even if an issue got brought up that you see stopping you and kind of keeping you from moving forward in a positive manner, I think another step, and I have it number 2, is to just simply acknowledge it. Acknowledging something in your life is a way to give it less power over you. It's something that, if there's something in your life that just permeates it, that's just constant, and if you can recognize, hey, this is a thing that I have an issue with and it relates to this, or it's because this happened to me once upon a time, you give it less power. And if you can do that with the help of a friend or with the help of a therapist, it even gives it less power, because then you have more people that you're surrounding yourselves with that know about the secret. So many times people are fearful to pinpoint the thing in their family life that has been hidden, because there's a lot of turmoil that's going to surround it. You're going to go against the status quo, and there may be some family relationships that get broken up because of this secret that you bring out into the light. It's usually because owning it creates changes, brings things into the light, and like I said earlier, when things are brought into the light, family relationships can be broken. And usually what happens, it depends on the kind of secret. If it's a secret like I have an eating disorder, let's say, that's not a secret that potentially is going to break up relationships. A lot of people are going to come around you to give you support and try to help get you treatment. Or if you say I have an addiction of some sort, that's usually not going to break up a family unless you get to the point where you don't want help with your addiction. Then people may have to do an intervention. What's usually going to break up families are when there's like sexual abuse that has happened that no one wanted to deal with, or there's some type of domestic violence or physical abuse that took place that no one wants to deal with. Those are the more serious things that are going to break up family relationships, because you have some people that say, yeah, I know that happened. And you have other people that will say, you're just making that up because you don't like so-and-so. And it's unfortunate, because a lot of times I think the bad part is that there have been actual people that have made up stories, and broken relationships have happened, and it's been proven that the stories are made up. And there's so many of those, but then juxtaposed to the stories where actual abuse has happened and people don't believe. And even if it's proven, some people don't believe. I worked with a family where the girl accused a stepdad of sexual abuse, and went through a whole investigation, and police got involved, and it turns out that the investigation was moving forward, and the dad denied, and some people didn't believe it, and they thought the girl was crazy, et cetera, et cetera. The dad ends up committing suicide, which then kind of makes you think, okay, maybe it did happen. And I've known another case where that happened, where these two young girls were accused their dad, and the investigation moved forward, and so then the guy was going to be taken to court, and he ended up killing himself as well. Now, one could say, well, the stress of having to go to court and defend yourself over this horrific accusation, just some people can't bear, which is understandable. But I think most people want to be found not guilty or be vindicated, and so committing suicide tends to be kind of a glaring, to me at least, glaring evidence that there was probably some guilt that was there. But that, we're getting in the weeds there. So acknowledge it is kind of the basic thing that I think you should do. So a third thing I think that you should do is gather others around you. So you're not the only one that's burdened by this secret pain that was created in your family. There's going to be others who suffer, and they suffer silently. And especially if you have a family that doesn't talk about difficult issues, there's going to be others that they're just waiting for someone to talk about this secret. so that they can get comfort and camaraderie in their life. And so maybe you'll be the first one to acknowledge the secret. The bravery it takes to do this can be useful to others who are not brave. And it's a very courageous act to be the first one to acknowledge, yes, there's this issue that has happened or continues to happen in our family. So you potentially know that there may be others. Like when I work with families, when there is a secret, I often hear, well, cousin so-and-so said it happened one time, or uncle so-and-so or aunt so-and-so. And so there's stories in families about these secrets, but no one has addressed them. And so one thing you could do is you could approach the person who you've heard maybe knows something about the secret, and talk to them about it, and do it with help. Don't just do it alone, unless you're really brave, I suppose. But it's going to be helpful to get others to go with you, and others that believe you and that are really supportive of you. The support can make you and others more courageous to face your family secrets. And I truly believe that when people face their family secrets, like I said earlier, is that it lifts a lot of burden off a person. And even if relationships and family break up, the fact that they're able to lift this emotional burden off of themselves makes them just feel better in life and move forward in a more positive manner and not stay stuck. Number 4. So once you have begun the process of dealing with a painful or secret in your life or a moment in your life that's keeping you stuck, you have a choice. And this is where a lot of people make a mistake of dwelling on the secret or the issue that happened to them. It's definitely difficult to get over challenging issues in a family, especially if it's a family secret that no one wanted to talk about. But moving forward from them is super important, because if you don't move forward from it, then you become stuck and you'll stay stuck. And so being stuck for a long period of time is okay, as you're processing through whatever it is. But if you stay stuck, it's like in the process of talking about the secret and dealing with it, you become stuck again because you can't get past talking about the secret, if that makes sense. So it takes, just like anything, it takes effort to move through things. You're not going to do it flawlessly. It's not going to be easy. It just simply won't happen just because you want it to. It's going to be like there's going to be work that's involved to actually get through it. And so I'm going to encourage you that if there's a secret that you have, that you don't dwell on it. You acknowledge it. You find ways to protect yourself and your family if you need to. And then you move forward and don't let the secret keep you from moving forward anymore. So number 5, and there's going to be lots of different things, but these are like 5 things that I've just found to be useful, and as I've worked with families, is don't give up. So as one confronts family secrets or pain in their lives, they'll definitely run into roadblocks. You may run in, like we talked earlier, you'll run into family members who don't believe you, who want to end relationships with you. You may run into roadblocks related to like legal issues, or a lot of times it's like if there's sex abuse that has taken place in the past, statute of limitations gets in the way. So you don't feel like you can bring justice to what took place. And that's potentially a roadblock. And what I found is that people just want to give up because it gets too difficult. And what's the point? I think the point is bringing this information into light, because whether or not it gets dealt with legally, it's something that allows you to move forward emotionally in your life. And so I think that that's an important thing to remember, is that to not give up. There's a lot of emotional pain that can be involved when one attempts to confront hidden things in their lives. And so that emotional pain is going to stop you in your tracks every once in a while, and that's okay. I think, again, acknowledging it, that this is something that has happened and this is something that you need to get through, and it's something that's not going to define you and stop you anymore. One of the things I would suggest is that if you think, you know what, I might have some secrets or stuff going on in my life that I need to get dealt with, reach out to me. My email is headshrinkinc@gmail.com, and I can put you in contact with maybe some local resources that would be helpful for you. I'm in the Pacific Northwest, but Google has allowed the world to be available to somebody. So if you live in another part of the country and you think that there's some challenges that you may need to deal with, feel free to email me and we can have a conversation and I can point you in a good direction of a professional resource or somebody that's competent that can possibly help you deal with any issues that are going on in your life. So that's headshrinkinc@gmail.com. If you want to hear more about me or my podcast or kind of see what I do, feel free to check me out at davidsimonson.net or docdavid on facebook.com. Enjoy your spring, and we will talk again soon.